Hello, I'm Jim Miller. I'm here with Terrence Moore. The FlipSide starts right now. Welcome to the show. We're pleased to welcome tonight Allison Lanham. She is the Senior Director of Marketing and Development for the ARC of Washington County. Allie, welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
I hear there's a lot that we have to talk about. I'm going to let Terrence start off with the questions.
All right, great.
Well, 'tis the season, right? The hottest ticket in town. So I think we'll get to talking about Dancing with the ARC stars. But before that, let us know a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm Allison Lanham. I am the Senior Director of Marketing and Development over at the ARC of Washington County. I come to Washington County with over 20 years of experience in the nonprofit sector. I have worked in the DC area, Charlotte, North Carolina, as well as in Auckland and New Zealand at a children's organization.
How long have you been here?
I've been with the ARC doing consulting work for a number of years, but I officially started as a full-time employee about a year and a half ago.
All right. Well, the ARC organization is near and dear to the show and as well as to me personally. So for our viewers who have no idea of the work that the ARC does, please give us a little background.
Yeah,
your mission.
Sure. The organization has been around since 1952. We are a nonprofit organization, part of a larger affiliated group of the ARC. The ARC of Washington County is our own 501c3. We serve adults and children with intellectual or developmental disabilities through a variety of different services, but mainly our bulk of our programming is through residential services as well as our day programs.
So the residential versus the day programs, talk to us about what the differences are there and what a client experience would be. Do you call them clients, patients?
Yeah, great question. The people that we work with at the ARC of Washington County, we refer to as people supported. The organization has taken on a person-centered philosophy in how we work with individuals, how we develop plans with them to address any goals or desires or wishes that they'd like. It also transitions to the homes that they live in. They get to choose which home they would like to live in within our 55 residential homes. They're in and around the community of Washington County. So they're neighbors just like you would have on your block. They live in homes just like your home. And they get to decide if they have one or a handful of roommates. Through our residential program, once they decide to live with us, they have 24/7 care through direct support professionals, which are individuals who have a caregiver role within the ARC of Washington County. And they do support services, anything from bathing them to taking them out shopping or going grocery shopping and other needs and necessities for the home. For our day program, we have 3 different day programs for our adult individuals. People around our age, working age, they have opportunity to do employment. They also come on campus, hang out with their friends, decide what they want to do for the day. Maybe that's volunteering, maybe that's going bowling, maybe that's working at their job for several hours. So they go off campus then and do all those activities. Then they come back on campus, hang out for a little bit. We have a gym, we have a robust computer lab in our new campus. That was $6 million renovation recently. And that's one of our day programs. We have another day program called Day Break, and those individuals are medically high needs or elderly. And so their space looks a little bit different than the younger group. They choose not to go off campus as much. They can if they'd like to, but they tend to want to hang out on campus. They watch movies, westerns, do arts and crafts, different activities. And then the third one is our Awakening program, and those are adults with autism. And so the Awakening program, they have a sensory room in their space to enjoy, and each individual served in Awakening has their own room with preferred activities.
Excellent. So the caregiver on the residential programs, they're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or somebody is?
Yep. So
And what would be their normal daily activities? How would they support? Do these people that you care for, do some of them cook their own meals, or does the caregiver do that, or how does that all work?
yeah, so they're called direct support professionals, and they are individuals in the community who have applied to work with us, and they didn't necessarily have to have any background in caregiver support. So they join our team, and we train them in everything that they would need to know about caregiving in totality, our person-centered approach, as well as the individual that they are working with and direct care. It's 24/7 support, and so no direct support professional lives in the homes, but we have a room. If it's a sleeping house, they can sleep in the nighttime, or sometimes our houses are awake. So it depends, right? So what's so wonderful about the Arc of Washington County, everything depends on the persons that you are serving. So that individual, we develop a specific plan with them, their goals with them, and so their goals may be very different from their roommates' goals. And so you asked about how their day looks, and their day looks like this. You wake up, how are you? What would you like to do today? What would you like for breakfast? Would you like to make breakfast with me? Would you like to be a part of your decision for what we make for your lunch when you go to day program? The vast majority of individuals who are in our age group and in our residential facility also work in, sorry, let me try that again. I'm so sorry. The vast majority of individuals who are in our residential program also choose to come to our day program, but they don't have to. So they could choose to go to a different day program where they're doing different things, or they can choose to come to our day program and they can do volunteer work, they can get employment positions in the open market, or they can hang out with their friends and their direct support professionals there as well.
So from the standpoint of the direct support professional, is that person supporting one or multiple?
That's a great question. So again, which is wonderful, it depends on the person who needs the support. So some people need one-to-one support. Some people need 2 staff members to that single person.
Really?
And then some people can have multiple people supported together with one staff member supporting them. So it depends on their needs and supports in a variety of different ways. Behavioral, medical indicates that as well, and where they are in their goals, where they need to have those support. It's interesting, the people that are supported through the Arc of Washington County, they are very aware of their support staff. They don't think of them as friends. They don't think of them as family. This is a staff person that's supporting them for their goals and initiatives. So they're the leader. They get to decide what they have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They get to decide how they spend their time in their day, and that support person is there to work with them to support them to do those things.
Right.
That's empowering, right? That offers a level of empowerment as well, instead of dependency that may come out of that relationship. That's great. You hit upon a lot of great things in describing the work that you do. But one of the things that I found fascinating was the inclusiveness into community. It's not a facility that's off and to the distance and separated from the community, isolated from the community. It's a bridge to ensure that us as a community are embracing all of our members of the community. And that's amazing work that's done through that program as well. So I greatly appreciate that. But it takes a lot. It takes a village to make that happen. Yeah. So how large is your staff and your team right now? Do you estimate it?
Yeah, we like to refer to us the 800-pound gorilla in the West End here in Washington County. We have 560 staff members. The vast majority of our staff members are direct support professionals. And then we also have admin staff, the typical accounting and development roles, admin support staff. And so we have 560 employees serving about 450 individuals in a variety of different ways.
It's a large organization.
Yeah, that is a large organization. Go ahead.
Especially in our region. We talk about large businesses and organizations, but that's probably one of the largest in our region. And I guess say it's a blessing to have, you know, Arc of Washington County for us to working within our community.
Yeah, and what's fantastic about working at the Arc and being part of our community is that if you want to work for the Arc of Washington County in a direct support professional role, you will have excellent benefits. And we are tracking at $19 for an hour, and we go up from there. So direct support professionals, they may not have experience walking in our doors, but there's heaps of experience once you're there. You can take trainings to move up on your direct support professional certificates. You can have opportunity to go back to college for your associates that we will pay up into a certain amount. We worked hard in our compensation and benefits plans to reduce premiums so that people can access the medical support that they need. And what our executive director always talks about is that once you're part of the ARC, you are part of the organism of the organization, and we all are working together to be healthy. For the 10 years running, we have gotten one of Maryland's healthiest businesses, which we're really excited about. It's a big accomplishment.
I think because you tap into, you know, the formula: take care of your people, and your people will take care of the people you empower them to do so. So it sounds like, based on a lot of those benefits and those opportunities, that the people who are employed there are taken care of. So they can take care of the people that they serve.
Right.
And that's just your staff. There's volunteer population as well that volunteer for the ARC as well, correct?
We have a very small volunteer group, mostly to support in board role capacities, advisory committees. We have parents and family members who serve in a variety of different ways to help with advocacy work. We do go to DD Day in Annapolis every year, which is Developmental Disability Day. We do advocacy there as well. And then as well as our dancers are our volunteers. And it's mostly because we are quite protective of the people that we support in terms of we want to make sure that the relationship that they're having within the ARC, they're getting high care. So everyone has to be background screened. They have to have certain being able to drive. And then we have lots of training to work with the population that we do. One is the person-centered training, but then there's also MANT training that we provide to all of our staff. And so in order to do that for volunteers, it's a very different process. And that's why we have open volunteer roles in a very limited way.
Amazing.
So the houses that you support where these folks live, what is the average normal high, low density of people that might be living in a single house?
Oh, yeah, you know, they are a house just like yours and mine. So I don't know if we have an average. I mean, some people live on their own and we have a person supporting them, or 2 or 3 people supporting that individual. But most of our houses, I would say, probably are 3 to 4 individuals in that home. So if you think of it as a roommate situation.
Okay.
And they work with each other to decide if this is where the house is a good fit for them. People can advocate to say, I'd like to move out of this house and move into a different home. We work really hard on making sure the staff that works in those homes also, you know, has an enjoyable relationship with the people that we support, and their interests are, you know, aligned, and they can all do wonderful things in the community together. One example is we have an individual who works in a free market job, right, in a store at the Valley Mall, and he really enjoys going to concerts, and he just went to the beach for the first time. So the people that support him are also people who would enjoy doing those experiences with him.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, we have lots more questions, but
Okay,
we need to take a
fantastic.
break right now. We hope you'll stay with us, and we hope you will stay with us as well. The Flip Side will be back after these messages. Welcome back to the show. Once again, we're here with Allie Lanham from the ARC of Washington County. So to continue our discussion about logistics and how things work there, so your caregivers, your professional caregiver people, is it generally male with male, female with female? Is that normally the case, or is that dependent? How does that work?
That is a great question. I know that we are an equal opportunity employer and that we provide opportunities for staff and the people that we support to indicate their preferences, specifically the people that are supported if they have a preference, because sometimes it's very intimate, right? When you're bathing someone,
That's my point.
when you're working with someone in a delicate situation in that way. I cannot speak to that it's entirely gender specific because some people are not as concerned about
Yeah.
that, right?
But what I'm hearing is the client, the
person that's
that
supported.
supported has say in.
Absolutely,
Okay.
they have say.
That's
Absolutely,
amazing.
that they have say. They have say in everything that
Yeah.
we do, which is
Well, that's amazing. And I
fantastic.
had no, I mean, I felt like I knew a fair amount about the Arc of Washington County, and I'm clearly far behind the curve compared to where I should be. So thank you for that. Terrence?
And that's a good point because over the years, I know we've become more aware of our perceptions or our stigmas around individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The ARC has been around through it all, and I think a lot of people in the community, even myself at one point in time, really didn't know that you existed and the work that you were doing. And talk to me about some of the changes that the organization has gone through as awareness and stigmas kind of have adjusted, and as well as just getting awareness out to the community to get engaged and even higher, because you mentioned a lot of businesses really have to be a part of that partnership for your individuals that you serve.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You know, I think as times have changed, the ARC has evolved in a really positive way to meet those positive changes in our culture and our community. You know, there was not so far in our distant past where we were part of the deinstitutionalization process, where someone who has developmental or intellectual disabilities were institutionalized. Their parents had put them in an institution. And when those were no longer going to happen, you know, we were placing them into homes. We were placing them into direct care support in spaces. So there is that big transformational change, right, of living on your own terms in a home, in a community. And then as things have more, you know, progressed recently, we do a lot of integration in the community, right? So they're doing activities just like you and I would spend our days. They're going to baseball games. We love the flying boxcars. They're going to arts activities. They're part of the Museum of Fine Arts. They are serving on our board. They serve on other volunteer committees in the community, and they have a voice, and it's an important voice. I mentioned briefly about our employment services program. You know, we used to have employment where people would be making widgets and things, and then they would be in our facility all day long making those widgets, and then, you know, that's not fun for anyone, right? And you know, and now we have a robust employment services program. And so if you were to come to the organization and you said, hey, I have a job available, I'm looking for someone with these skill sets, we could then find someone in our organization who have already expressed interest in working. We have an employment first philosophy. So if you are interested in working, we then talk to you about your skills, what skills you currently have, what skills you'd like to have, and then we go out into the free market and look for a job for you. And that could be anything from working at concessions at the Flying Boxcars, of which we have, dishwashing. We have people who work at restaurants, and they're in the cook side, and they're doing all kinds of things. And what's an important part of that is a job coach. And so those job coach comes alongside both the person who's supported and the employer, so that they can help navigate conversations, navigate different potential issues that would come up, or normal communication that happens when you start a job, right? And making sure both parties understand the communication that's happening. And we stay alongside throughout that experience. And so if the person supported needs that one-to-one support, you better believe we have a direct support professional that we are paying to be with that person during that job. So we have people currently looking for employment. If you have jobs available, come to us. You know, we're ready to work.
And I just want to kind of piggyback on that. the diversity of work. I remember a few decades ago, I want to age myself more than I already am, but there was a campaign by a major fast food company that really advertised that they were hiring, for people with disabilities. And I remember those commercials, of the individual and how they celebrated. And it's been normalized, which is amazing because they're just looking for jobs, like we all are, right, from employment. But do business owners sometimes limit the jobs that they may come to you with because they have a perception of the limitations of the individuals who can do the job? So how does that conversation happen?
Yeah, that's a really interesting. Usually when we do these all-call for businesses, we invite them to have a conversation with us, and they learn about what the ARC is doing in totality and how we're supporting individuals, and then the breadth of the individuals that are supported through the organization and what they're capable of and what they can do. And then it turns into a conversation of what jobs you have available and what that could look like. All the jobs that our people supported are applying for are free market jobs, right? So they're not, they're every job, and so when we have the kind of the all call to businesses to reach out to us, come with an open mind, come with a time that you can kind of say, let me learn about you and you can learn about us, and where can we work together?
So there's no predetermined list of skills if I was looking for a job or looking for an employee that I can kind of look through those skills and be like, hey, wait, I had no idea that I have a job that fits this skill set and work from that standpoint. So it would really be a relationship conversation so you can tailor those skill sets.
Yeah, or there might already be a list of people that we have that are ready to go, and you may not have thought that someone on our our team would be interested in that. So it starts with conversations.
Yeah, I just want the business owners to keep a open mind of the breadth of work that actually can be done, and not limit the scope of the jobs that they may be willing or interested in having someone come and serve and work and employ in their companies. And really kind of think that, don't limit yourself to what your own biases or perceptions, and really come and have that conversation. So that's what I really want to kind of drive home, because even myself, I don't know what job I would think of immediately, but I know I wouldn't want to limit myself as an employer to having a skilled employee who can come and serve and work and partner with my organization and bring my organization to the next level, because of my own biases. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
From the perspective of those you support, what is the range of disabilities that you deal with?
That question might be above my pay grade.
Okay.
Yeah, so my work that I do is around our marketing and our fundraising department. We have a breadth of disabilities that are worked through on our medical side of things. But I don't even know people's disabilities when I'm walking through campus. It's not something.
But clearly, if you have folks that are employed, you have some what I'll call highly functioning individuals in your
absolutely
community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And then I guess the other question would be, and you've spoken a lot, Terrence has talked about integration, and the notion that these people, one of these people or multiple of these people could be my neighbor. We all love our neighbors, hopefully. How has that impacted positively in your mind? How does that impact the community and the acceptance to?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's really lovely, actually. We are part of your community just like anybody else would be. The first example comes to mind, actually, is a person that we support, a person that is supported through the organization, really likes cats. And he no longer was able to care for his own cat. And so he really enjoyed watching the cat in the neighborhood, and then eventually met the cat's homeowner and built that relationship. And it's mutual. They had a like interest, like you would with any of your neighbors would. Like interest was cats, and now they kind of built a friendship around, this cat walks by, and I say hi to the cat visits me, and then he goes on his merry way, and then I see the neighbor later on.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So how does how does the ARC educate the community more? I know that we tend to put our foot in our mouth, you know, and myself included. We don't know the right words to say. We don't know the right terms all the time. And again, we talked about biases as well. And, you know, whether you have, you know, family member or a friend or somebody you live closely with a disability versus knowing that there's an opportunity to serve or employ or, you know, volunteer with the ARC. How do you educate the community to really build a more community-oriented support system around the ARC? How do you go outside those walls?
Yeah, you know, it's really interesting. I think our people supported are our best ambassadors for that. You know, I think they are at movie theaters, bowling alleys, Starbucks, having a good meal somewhere, and they're out in the community enjoying themselves, and they reach out to the people around them to talk to them and say hello. We're walking around the Valley Mall all the time. That's something that's a preferred activity, and they often will be the one who reaches out and says hello first, right? So that barrier is already broken down because they want to say hello. They want to engage with you. And I think more and more we're seeing an open mind to that, and people are very responsive and really welcoming. I think too, you know, it's keeping part of the conversation. We do have a youth program and an after-school capacity and summer camps for youth with autism, and so, you know, that starting point, that entry point, can be quite young with us now. And so we do a lot of resource fairs in the community to make sure parents are aware that this is a service available to them as well. Always check out our Facebook posts. I'm posting fun, engaging stories of what people are doing, and I think that helps break down the barrier too. Oh, they were at the beach recently. Oh, they went to the Nelly concert. That's fun, you know.
Amazing.
So there are many nonprofits in Washington County. What makes ARC different than other nonprofits? Some of which, by the way, serve people with disabilities.
Yeah.
What makes ARC different?
Yeah, I think the size. We're very large. We have 55 residential homes that we own and operate throughout the community. So I think that standpoint alone, we're a $45 million organization. That's another big indicator of how large we are, and what we're able to do both on side of the employment side of hiring people in Washington County at a quality $19 an hour and moving up potential rate, and the people that we are working with and serving, they are living in high quality, nice homes that are integrated and in the community.
All right. Excellent. Well, it's time for us to take another break. I hope you'll stay with us for 2 more segments. We'll be back with more of the Flip Side after this. Welcome back. Well, we're here again with Allie from the ARC of Washington County. Terrence?
So we're going to get in a little bit into your specific wheelhouse. So thank you for fielding that breadth of questions about the organization. So we're going to talk about development. You mentioned you have a $45 million budget to run the organization. That money just doesn't appear out of thin air, right?
No, it does not.
And you are a chapter, right? So you're ARC of Washington County that runs into the Maryland affiliation, into the national. How does that relationship work?
Yep. We, the ARC of Washington County is our own 501c3. So we have our very own board of directors that we report to in terms of our finances, nominations, all the things that roll up into a nonprofit organization. And actually, I will speak to briefly that we have traditionally had the nonprofit standard of excellence, which we still hold, but we also recently got accredited through the CARF accreditation, which is an international recognition of our organization and the high standards that we have. So we are our own 501c3. We have our own accreditations and services that we we work through. And then we are an affiliated chapter. So the Arc of Maryland is a fully advocacy organization, and we are affiliated with them. And then the same as you go to the nation side. But they do not fund us, and we do not fund them.
So you're responsible for your own budget for that $45 million.
Yes.
All right. So tell us how you come about funding that $45 million and how the community plays a part in that.
Sure. So I've been doing development work, fundraising work for 20 years. I've already talked briefly about this internationally, as well as along the East Coast. What's unique about the Arc of Washington County is that individuals who are supported, they choose to come with us. So they have been approved through Developmental Disability Administration for a certain level of support and services. And so that could be, if they're in our residential program, that's all day. It's 24/7 care, and so they qualify for those services. And from there, they get to decide which agency they want to go to. So they take theirs and then they allocate it with the Arc of Washington County. Once they are in our residential facility, we manage all of their funds, right? So we are their food. We provide all their food and the electricity, their phone bill, all that kind of nitty-gritty stuff gets kind of wiped away. They're with our home, and we take care of those pieces. And then once that person has allocated as us to that they are living with our organization, that's how we then work with the administrations to be the funding. So each person may have different allocations of funding. One, based on hours, two, based on level support. So if an individual has 3 staff members to one individual, that's decided through their disability services. And so then we just align with that to make sure we're providing that care that they need at those certain levels.
So you mentioned that, or maybe Terrence mentioned that there's Arc of Maryland. Mm-hmm. Is there an ARC look-alike in every community in every county in Maryland?
I don't know if it's every. There is heaps of ARC chapters. So there's one, and we have great relationships. So there's 9 different chapters in Maryland for ARCs, and we have wonderful relationships with all of them. And we come together collaboration-wise in a lot of different capacities and ways to support each other and share ideas and talk about other services and developments that are happening in the disability community, and we work with them very closely. So there's 9 in Maryland.
Okay. And in terms of your supported individuals, are all of them from Maryland or Washington County, or we're 5 minutes from Pennsylvania, 5 minutes from West Virginia?
Yeah, we serve Maryland residents.
Okay, Maryland residents. Okay, perfect.
All right. So tell us about some of the ways that you've raised money.
Yeah, fantastic. So we talked about how we have the government-supported federal and state government-supported funds for the individual. We also do grant work, and we do grants in a variety of different ways and different capacities. So locally, we have a strong relationship with the Community Foundation, and they provide some grants to us as well. Some individuals who have funds at the Community Foundation will allocate their funds to us after hearing about the mission and the work that we're doing here. And then we also do individual giving. Some people have allocated funds through beneficiaries, their will. We also accept, a variety of stacks and things like that. Or, payments over time, right? If they're interested, let's say in our capital campaign, which was a $6 million capital campaign of 2 different buildings of our campus, they did payments over time. So they might have said, all right, I'll give you $50,000 for the next 5 years. And then there's the event fundraising piece, which is what we'll be talking about shortly as well. But the event fundraising piece, we have 2 annual fundraisers. One is our golf tournament, and the other is Dancing with the Arc Stars. What is most interesting about that is where that money goes. So we were talking about what is supported through DDA support and what that person can access. What we have developed is the Empowering Lives Fund, and that is a philanthropic fund of unrestricted dollars through our events and individual giving allocated so that the people that we support can go on vacations, so that they get medical bandages that are not covered through insurance, so that they can get support needs such as a ramp to get out of their car, or things like, or a hearing device. We have one youth in our children's program who really loved jumping on beds, and he jumped on beds and he broke 2 in 10 days, and he wasn't doing it maliciously. He just really enjoyed it. So we got him a standalone trampoline, but then the autism specific type of bed that he needed was $1,700, and where that money comes from is through direct donations to the organization. And so we have that fund that's discretionary that we can employ for people that are supported. We also use that for, our holiday gift campaign, right? So everyone in our supported organization wants to receive something for the holidays.
Right.
And so they create their own wish list, and we work to get them the things on their wish list. And when they celebrate that holiday, we present those gifts to them. We also do it for birthday presents as well. But specifically the holidays is run through the Empowering Lives. We also do a nice meal, and that's through Empowering Lives as well.
So your funding, what percent of the funding comes through the federal government, through the state, that type of thing, versus what percentage comes from these events?
It's disproportionately high.
I'm sure it is.
It's probably roughly around 95% that comes, because when you think about the services that are delivered, they're very specific support services that
I think
these
about
individuals
500 plus
need.
staff members.
And you think about, because you think about that staff member needs to get a living wage, an appropriate wage. We also pay for their benefits program. We spend a lot in retention and recruitment. Recruitment is a big initiative of ours because we want to get the right person in the right role, and we want to be able to train people to stay with us for long times. What we see is that people, once they stay with us for 2 years, they end up staying for like 10 to 25 to 30 years.
So if you think about it, so how many
People supported?
people supported?
Right, we rough around 450 to 460 people.
Okay, so $45 million budget, if you do that math, that's about $100,000 a person.
Mm-hmm.
That's not horrible.
Well,
I mean, considering the level of service, the one-on-one or sometimes two-on-one, that's not a bad price.
And a home.
the
Well,
facilities,
exactly.
right? But think about the facility costs.
Well,
I
and
put a
food.
$10,000 roof on my house, this year. I didn't expect. So I
Yeah.
can imagine what comes up for some of the facility charges that may
And
arise. as
food
well.
and medical and,
Yeah.
and all of that other stuff.
We have a 200 fleet of cars. So often in Washington County, there's a big transportation issue. That's not an issue that we have because we have 200 cars. We have one car at every single location so that people that are supported can get to where they need to be every day. So they're not stuck at home. They're not watching television over and over. They can go anywhere and do anything that they would like. So we think about, so you think about our cars, you think about the 55 homes that we own and operate, roofs, capital expenses. We also spend a lot of money on repairing homes to make them accessible. And then you think about quality experiences.
Right.
And high level care,
Well, and you think about all of the administrative staff that's required to support all of those people that are out in the field supporting the clients.
Yeah.
550 people, that's a HR nightmare. I'm just kidding. I love HR. We love HR.
Yeah. That is a hard job to have, and Shane is doing a good job at it. So we'll keep him in his role. It's not something I would want to take on.
No, I mean, nor would I. Well, that's an interesting number, and that seems, again, if you think about what it costs you to live just by yourself, and then say, okay, if I'm living by myself, but I have somebody that's there 24/7 to support me, or maybe 2 people, and then add on, all of the other things, that's not horrible.
Yeah, thank you.
Talk to me about partnerships with other businesses or organizations locally and how that works.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We have I think the premier partnership that we have is with the Flying Boxcars. They're a great partner of ours. One, they've employed heaps of people.
Really?
So they have employed heaps of people through our organization, and we have a wonderful partnership with job coaching and supporting the people supported to work there. Two, they open our doors to people enjoying the game. So they gave us a discounted rate so that people supported can go as a group and have a big time at the game. And I think we went to like 3 or 4 games through that, which was really wonderful. And then we recently partnered with them on a fireworks night. And so we had people supported, staff, and then some advocates and advocacies of ours come into the stadium, and we had them in the picnic area, so that was a big time. But then I asked the Boxcars, hey, can we have someone sing the national anthem? Can we have someone throw out the first pitch? Can we come out for the 7-inning stretch? It was, yes. What else can we do? How else can we share your mission? What videos do you have? We can do this. We can do this. It's just a wonderful partnership because they're game to do it, and they are fantastic, and it's a gem of our community to have them there.
Excellent.
Just want to point out as well, anyone can go out and give on your website.
Yes, thank you.
But there's another opportunity there called the Amazon wish list. What's that?
Yes, the Amazon wish list, fantastic. So that harpens back a little bit to our holiday wish list. So we have several programs that are working on lots of different things, but we have the Stepping Stones program, which is for our children with autism, and they're in after school in our facility and the summer camp. And so their wish list is all heaps of things that they can do on our campus and off our campus to have a big time.
So I can go into this list and make a purchase specifically on something that's on that list.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Looking back over the last 12 months, biggest challenge, biggest success?
Biggest challenge, biggest success. I think recruiting is always a challenge for us, making sure that people understand the work that they are going to be doing once they enter the homes. That's been a big challenge, making sure that we are effectively communicating, as much as we can say to make sure that we're hiring the right people for the right roles. Biggest success is our CARF accreditation. This is a big deal. We spent 18 months, senior leadership and directors every week, an hour and a half, working on 15,000 policies and procedures, standards that we met.
Wow.
And then we had 3 days where 10 accreditors came through. They visited every home, 55 homes. They went to every single one, and they only had 17 recommendations from 15,000 standards, 17 recommendations of we think you could do this a little better.
That's not bad.
That is outstanding.
Yeah, that
and
is outstanding. Forget not bad, that's outstanding.
Pretty wonderful. So the highest level of accreditation is a 3-year accreditation process, and then there's a continual CARF culture in our organization to make sure we're maintaining these standards in between the accreditation process.
Well, we need to get to Dancing for the Arc Stars, but first we need to take one more break. So stay with us. We'll have more of the flip side after these messages. Welcome back. We're here again with Allie Lanham from the Arc of Washington County. So Allie, we have with us a former Dancing with the Arc Stars star.
Yes.
So I'm going to give him the opportunity to talk about, or to start us off on the conversation about Dancing with the Arc Stars.
Absolutely. Just had to finish my cart because I just put a couple of toys in there from
yay.
your wish list. So I just wanted to make sure I got that out. And I do
you.
enjoy filling up an Amazon cart. So
Yeah.
it's best to do it for a
Especially
great
with
cause.
toys.
That's right. It's good to do it for a great cause. But Dancing with the Arc Stars, I had the pleasure now 2 years ago to be a dancer. And boy, did I underestimate the commitment and the energy and the joy afterwards. It was probably one of the best experiences I had in my life. I honestly, I can put it up there, probably top 10 things I ever did. And from June to October,
Yeah.
constantly learning how to dance, learning routines, working with the organization. And it's not these easy dances, right? We have dedicated dance coaches, and you prepare for this day, and then the day comes and you are treated like the star. And the support that you get from the community leading up to it. You just had a big bash event with the chamber to kind of launch the dancers as well, and the fundraising that each of the couples have to do. I just want to say it is an amazing experience, and anytime I get an opportunity to support it, help with it, or promote it, you have me for life, all right? So I just want to say that. So for those who don't know, and over my little summation, tell us about the event, and tell us what's coming this year.
Yeah, so it's been running for about 10 years. It's based on the idea of the Dancing with the Stars, right? So it's 3 dances in one night. We have 6 dancing. Usually the couples don't know each other, and this is the first year that we have 3 married couples dancing. So we have Blaine and Matt South, we have Tad and Ann Holzapple, and then we have Katie and Justin Anderson. And just like Terrence was saying, it's a big time. They become really close and friends, and then they're learning these really fun and sometimes complicated dances.
Sometimes.
We kick it off with a ballroom dance, and so they're learning very specific moves, and we hire wonderful dance coaches to work alongside of all of the dancers to make sure that everything runs smoothly and is fun and engaging. And so during the event, it is a dollar for dollar raise, right? So every dollar raise is a vote towards your team, and so it's the most that you raise is the winner of the championship of that night. But it's a wonderful night. We have it at Fountainhead. You're in the ballroom, you get a full 3-course meal. We have heaps of sponsorships that happen through that. That event actually is sold out twice. So what is new this year, Fountainhead Country Club has allowed us to be in the tap room. And so we will have a second event during the event where we'll have experiences throughout the evening to be engaging. We'll live stream the dancing. We'll have food. We'll have balloon raffles. We're gonna have a champagne toast where every glass of champagne is $100, but you have a chance to win a diamond from Carson Jewelers, which is a carat, and it's worth $5,000. Wow. So it's pretty good odds. Pretty good odds if you ask me to buy a champagne glass for $100. So it's a really wonderful event. That one's called Mix and Mingle, and we're currently selling that quickly. So get your tickets fast.
Yeah, our event was one of those that sold out. And you hear sold out, you're like, okay, maybe. People will be there. There'll be an empty seat here or there. People just buy tickets and they won't show up. And then you walk into the room to perform, and it is truly wall-to-wall people, packed house, waiting for you to perform, and there was tables up against the bar in the back of the room.
Yeah.
And it sold out so quickly, and their organizations have their staff there, sponsors are buying tables, and it's amazing this year that outside of that group, so many other people are going to get a chance to participate and be a part of it and have a unique first-time experience themselves as well.
Yeah.
So in this new experience, do I still get to see the dancers? Do I still get to see what's going on in the ballroom?
Yeah.
What does that look like for me?
You get sort of a best of both worlds a little bit, because what happens when you first arrive at Fountainhead is that everybody is under a tent in the front, and that's where we are doing a complimentary Meinl Schmidt cocktail, and everyone will get served one of those. That's where we'll do mix and mingling and networking with all of our sponsors, all the people in the Mix and Mingle event, everybody. So it'll be about 350 people out there having a good time for that first hour, happy hour. We'll have past hors d'oeuvres. We're just working with the chef today, and amazing food coming out. And then the people will go into the ballroom and they'll have a full plated sit-down meal. The Mix and Mingle crowd is going to join me in the tap room, and we're going to have a big time. And so there's going to be screens where they will be able to be showcasing the live stream, so you won't miss any part of the action. But you'll have have an opportunity to get mixology drinks at the bar. You'll be able to chat with some friends and then move over to the other area and chat with more friends, or I haven't seen this person in a while. So it'll give you more opportunity to bounce around the room. We'll have a photo booth. We have these raffles. So we have balloons that'll be hanging around the room. You can buy a balloon for $25. Every balloon is going to have the experience that happens that night and an experience you can take home. So for example, we just got tickets from the Maryland Symphony Orchestra for their holiday experience. So that's the after experience. So 4 tickets to go to that. But then in the night, you're gonna have to wear, you know, some Christmas attire. And so you'll get a hat and you'll get some bells and some jewelry. We'll do some other fun things where, you know, you get your balloon and it's one of those puzzles that you have to separate the pieces. And if you can get it, if you can separate the pieces, then we will have a mixology experience and 6 people will be able to get these shots. And so it's engaging, it's fun, but you're gonna be part of the action all night long. We will then announce the winner and the entire party is invited to join your party. So the winner of the event, the dancing couple, will join you at the tap room and we'll all celebrate their success that night.
So it's kind of like a party within the party, right?
Yeah.
It's for the networkers, the people that don't want to just kind of sit down and watch the show, because there are some gaps, and usually between the dances they're showing videos and you're kind of sitting around and you're mingling around with the people at your table. But this is like on 10 right now, so you're playing games, you're drinking, you're listening to music, and it's kind of that a little bit more lively.
It is.
So if those in the ballroom, are they coming into that party as well? Is it a separated flow? How is that looking?
Yep, so it'll be completely separate until the very end of the night. So once the winner is announced, we'll do a little celebration, and then we're inviting people into the tap room to join you. So you will definitely see those stars coming through. We might even have them drop in between the dances as well, so you can kind of mingle with the stars as part of the fun experience. What's also really lovely is that the tap room is a members only side of that club. Mm-hmm. So many of us have not been able to access. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity to check out the club and see if this is a space that you'd also like to join and become a member of. So it's a chance to get in the door, see what's all about, enjoy a fun night of fundraising, and maybe become a philanthropist.
All right.
So for those who can attend, can they still vote for their favorite dancer?
Absolutely.
Tell me how.
You can absolutely vote until the last dance. So those of us who have joined us at the Dancing with the Arc Stars, Terrence, you remember walking around the room, running around the room, gathering cash for the last dance. And so they come around with buckets. So that last dance is our indicator of when we close the online sale. So you go to our website, www.arcwc-md.org, and you'll go to Dancing with the Arc Stars, go down, find your favorite couple, click to vote, and you know, $5, $50, everything matters. It all goes to that Empowering Lives Fund, which directly, we take no admin from that. That goes directly to the people that we support every day to make their lives, lives that they want to live, right? And so, yes, you can vote throughout the event, and you can watch on a live stream. So we will have the live stream coming through our website as well as on Facebook.
So have you announced a fundraising goal for this year publicly?
We don't have a fundraising goal per se. What we say to our dancers every year is, you know, you walk into the room, the event is paid for. So that feels good. There's a weight off your shoulder as a professional fundraiser that you're like, oh, you're not down anything when you come in the room. We're already made money, right? We're already sitting pretty good. What makes a difference is that you're using your social capital, and then you're telling your friends and family. And once they hear about the work that we're doing, it's a very easy ask to say, yeah, sure, of course I would fund, you know, my neighbor who had a big open wound and they need medical bandage. Of course, why wouldn't I give you $50? And it's a vote for your team, and that's quite fun. So they're using their social capital, they're sharing awareness about our organization and the work that we're doing, and overall, it's a big fun. It's heaps.
Well, I'm going to take the last word on that because we are out of time. Mm-hmm. Did you have one more thing?
I just know that this year there are going to be guest hosts at the separate
Yes.
event as well, so
Yes.
that everyone can go online and see who those guest hosts are. There's some big personalities in the community, and I think they're going to make it even more fun.
All right, thank you. That was an important point. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. We hope you will like us on Facebook. Follow us on X. We hope you will send us your comments and suggestions to feedback@flipsidetv.com. That's feedback@flipsidetv.com. Most importantly, join us again next week for another trip to the flip side. Good night.